Hello everybody, so Beaton here, and today we are examining some CSEC questions on consumer arithmetic. So with that being said, let's head straight into this video. So the first question says, Arma's take-home pay is $4,320 per fortnight. This means every 2 weeks. Each fortnight's pay is allocated according to the following table. So we have the item and the amount allocated. So for rent, she pays X dollars. Food, she pays $629. Other living expenses, she pays 2x dollars. Savings, $1,750. And this will give us a total of $4,320. So the first question, what is Arma's annual take home? Assume she works 52 weeks in a given year. So in this question, we saw that CXC was very kind to tell us that there are 52 weeks in a year. Well, 52 weeks she worked in a year, and we want to know her annual take home salary. So first thing we need to know is, we can see that this 4,320, this is what she's paid every fortnight. And if we have 52 weeks in a year, to find the amount of fortnights in a year, we just divide this by 2. And 52 divided by 2 will give us 26. So Arma will work for 26 fortnights in a year. To get her annual pay, her annual take home, so her annual take home will be 4,320 multiplied by the number of fortnights, which will be 26. So 4,320 multiplied by 26 will give us $112,320. And that will be Arma's annual take home. So you just need to be careful to remember that she's working, she's being paid per fortnight. All right, so that is the first answer for this question. This question went for a 1 mark, as easy as that. So the next question now says, determine the amount of money that Arma allocates for rent each month. So we see for rent, she allocates X dollars. So we have an equation that we have to come up with to find what is the value for this X. From this table, we know when we add up this X plus this 629 plus this 2x plus is 1,750, and this will be equal to 4,320. So we have a simple equation we have to solve here. So we just go ahead and solve it. So we put all of the like terms together. So this will be x plus 2x. So x plus 2x. And then we put all of the numbers together. So this will be plus 629 plus 1,750, and this will be equal to 4,320. So x plus 2x, that would give us 3x, and 629 plus 1,750 would give us 2,379, and this will be equal to 4,320. So now to solve for x, we have a simple equation, a simple linear equation. So we just take over this plus 2,379. So when we take it over, it will become 3x is equal to 4,320. Subtract 2,379. So when we subtract this, we'll get a value of 3x being equal to 1,941. And then to find the value for x, this 3 is multiplying, so we take it over to a subtract. So we'll have x is equal to 1,941 divided by 3. So x will be equal to 647. So this would be the value of x. So to find the determined amount of money that she allocates for rent, so we see rent is X dollars. So we'll see therefore rent will be equal to $647. And this is the working, and this is how we get our 3 marks. As easy as that. So the next question says, all of Arma's savings is used to pay her son's university tuition cost, which is $150,000. If Arma's pay remained the same and she saved the same amount each month, what is the minimum number of years that she must work in order to save enough money to cover her son's tuition? So they put minimum in all caps, so that means, that is something that we should keep at the back of our mind. So let's go. So first of all, we need to know is, what is her savings? So you see, our savings is 1,750. So our savings would be 1,750. So we want to know the minimum number of years that she must work to save to pay for her tuition, which is $150,000. So first of all, let's see how much savings she will make for the entire year. So for 1 year, she will save, so this will be 1,750 multiplied by, so remember, she saves this every 2 weeks. So to find the amount of money that she will save for the entire year, once again, it will be 52 divided by 2, which will be 26. So we multiply this 1,750 by 26, because that is the amount of money she saves every fortnight. So in 1 year, she will save, when we multiply this, we'll get $45,500. So this is how much she saves in 1 year. So to find the amount of years that she has to save to reach this 150, it will be, so the number of years would be 150,000 divided by 45,500. So we can just cancel out some zeros. This 0 cancel that 0, this 0, that 0. So we have 1,500 divided by 455, and this will give us 3.2967. So the minimum number of years, so we know if for 3 years she will not reach the money, so that means she has to save another year. So the minimum number of years would be, so you can say therefore the minimum number of years that she must work is 4 years. Because we see, if we round off this like how it is, if she at the end of 3 years, she will not meet the 150,000. So she must go an additional year. That is the minimum number of years that she must reach to cover this savings. So the minimum number of years would be 4 years. So now let's move on to the next question. The next one says, Marco is on vacation in the Caribbean. He changes 4,500 Mexican pesos to Eastern Caribbean dollars. He received 630 EC dollars. Complete the statement below about the exchange rate. So we see that he exchanges for the 500 and he gets this amount of money. So 1 EC dollars is equal to how many Mexican dollars? So to find the exchange rate, so we want to know how much 1 EC dollars is equal to how many Mexican dollars. So first of all, we see the EC dollars has more value than the Mexican dollars because he exchanged 4,500 and he got back less money. So the EC dollar is more valuable. So to find this, we'll just divide 4,500 divided by 630. So this 0 cancels to that 0. You can simply divide 450 by 63. So this will give us 7.142857, and we can round this off to, since we deal with money, we'll just round it off to 2 decimal places. So we can end off the statement by saying 1 EC dollars is equal to 7.14 Mexican dollars. And that is the answer for this 1 mark. Nice and easy 1 mark. Let's carry on. The next one says, when Megan started working, she was paid $85 each week. After a 6 months probationary period, her pay increased by 20%. How much was she paid each week after the increase? So this is our money before the increase, and it's increased by 20%. So we just simply find 20%. So it's 20 over 100 multiplied by 85. So this 0 cancels to that 0. 2 ones 2. 2 into 10 would be 5. So we have 85 divided by 5, which will give us 17. So our pay increased by $17. So to find the amount of money that she was paid after the increase, it will be $85 plus $17. And this will give us $102. So we can say, therefore, she was paid $102 after the increase. And that is the answer for this question. A nice and easy 1 mark again. So let's carry on. The next question says, Rhea is paid at a rate of $13.50 per hour. During a certain week, she worked 40 hours. How much did she earn that week? So this is once again a nice and easy 1 mark. So her earnings for that week would be simply, so her week earnings, so it's $13.50 per hour, and she worked 40 hours that week. So this will multiply by 40. So therefore, her earnings would be $540 for that week. So you can say, therefore, she earned $540 that week. So these kind of questions that ask in a statement form, you want to put your answer in a statement form as well. So the next question says, Rhea worked 4 weeks in the month of August. Her gross earnings was $2,463.75. Her regular week comprised of 40 hours and overtime was paid at 1.5 times the hourly rate. Show that Rhea worked 15 hours overtime in August. So we see that in a normal week, a normal 40 hours week, Rhea earned $540. So for 1 week, she earned $540. And we see here that she worked 4 weeks in August. So this will be 4 weeks will be 540 multiplied by 4, which will give us $2,160. So this is the amount of money that she worked for normally in the 4 week without any overtime. So to find the amount of money that she worked overtime, so you can say overtime money or payment. So we can say in total she earned $2,463.75. So we subtract back out the normal money that she worked without overtime. So this will be $2,160. And this will give us $303.75. So this is the amount of money that she worked overtime. So we want to show that Rhea worked 15 hours overtime in August. To show that she worked 15 hours overtime in August, this is the overtime money. This is the money that she's paid overtime. So to show that she worked 15 hours overtime, we just find the amount of money she's paid per hour in overtime. So she's paid 1.5 times the normal hourly rate. So we know the hourly rate from the previous information in the question is $13.50. So overtime rate will be equal to she's paid $13.50 normally, and this is multiplied by the overtime, the times that she's paid for overtime. So this is 1.5, which is the same as 1.5. So you can see we can multiply this by 1.5 instead of 1.5. So this will give us $20.25 she's paid every hour overtime. So to find the amount of hours that she worked and to show that this is 15 in this case, so you can say the number of hours, or you can say the number of overtime hours. So it will be 303.75 divided by 20.25. And this will be equal to 15. So this will be 15 hours. And that is how we show that Rhea worked 15 hours overtime for 2 marks. It's just for us to read and understand. So the next question says, in August, 20% of Rhea gross earnings was deducted as tax. How much money does she have left after deduction? So how much money does she have left after deduction? So in August, we saw that she worked $2,463.75. So we can just put $2,463.75. This is how much money she worked in August. And 20% of this is deducted as tax. So we just find 20%. So 20 over 100 multiplied by 2,463.75. This 0 go with that 0. This 2 will cancel out with the 10. So 2 into 2, 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we have 2,463.75 divided by 5 will give us $492.75. So this is the amount of money that is deducted as tax. So you want to know how much she has left. So we can say our gross earnings would be 2,463.75 subtract 4,092.75, and this will give us $1,971. So we can say therefore she has $1,971 left after the deduction. And the last question says, Rhea invested $219 of her earnings for 3 years at a rate of 4.5% per annum simple interest. How much interest does she receive after 3 years? So we want to find simple interest here. So we know simple interest, it's PRT over 100, in which P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time. So the simple interest would be P. P is the principal, which is the amount of money invested. So this is 219 multiplied by the rate, which is 4.5. multiplied by the time, which is 3 years, all divided by 100. So we multiply everything and divide by 100. So 219 multiplied by 4.5 multiplied by 3, all divided by 100. And this would give us simple interest is equal to 29.565. So you can say simple interest, you can round this off, is equal to, since you deal with money, $29.57. So this is the amount of interest that she will receive. So this is the amount of interest that Rhea will receive after our investment of $219 for 3 years at 4.5% per annum. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video on consumer arithmetic. Keep practicing and keep looking out for future videos. See you in the next one.